speaker, Dr. N.S. Rajput. Dr. Naveen Singh Rajput is an associate professor in the electronics department and of the electronics engineering department of IIT BHU Varanasi. He holds an MTech degree and a PhD from IIT BHU. He was nominated as an Young Scientist for the Young Scientist Award by the government of Madhya Pradesh in 1997. His area of specializations include neural networks, machine learning, artificial intelligence in the computation and communication networks, Internet of Things, and cyber physical systems. Dr. Rajput has more than 17 years of teaching and research experience. He has to his credit over 46 papers in internationally referred journals, books, and articles, and online publications. Dr. Rajput has supervised and supervising 5 PhD theses, and he has supervised more than 40 MTech dissertations. He has sponsored projects 9 to his credit. He is a member and coordinator of various institutional bodies and has won 21 awards and recognitions. We are thankful to Dr. Rajput for sparing his valuable time to speak on this webinar. Dr. Rajput sir, the floor is yours.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. नमस्कार वासुदेवन जी. थैंक यू सुधाकर शुक्ला जी, आपने बहुत अच्छा कवर किया. यू हैव स्पोकन सो वेरी वेल. इन फैक्ट कवर्ड वॉट एवर वी कुड इवन हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट. सो योर टॉक हैड बीन अमेजिंग. एंड थैंक यू संतोष त्रिपाठी जी फॉर roping us into this program. So it is really very good, and thank you for the whole organizing team. So in fact, as Sudhakar ji has already talked about most of the technologies, right here I would simply look forward to share my own work in 2016 publication, where we have created a physical system for deployment by people. So let me just share my screen and show to you all. Maybe most of you might find it useful, where whatever technologies you talked about, how this is implemented and how can this all be implemented very conveniently. So I think all of you can see my slides. Is it all right? Anyone please confirm if you are
Yes,
able
yes,
to.
sir. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. We are able to see you.
Okay. So hi everyone. I am Dr. N.S. Rajput from IIT BHU Varanasi. And actually in 2016, when I was in a program with at Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun, we had created one framework for GIS enabled campus. This was the design and deployment methodology. Technically speaking, the data which we talk about is to be extracted, presented on the web, and should be made available to people for immediate usage. Accordingly, we worked on the engineering aspects of the platform which will be required. So you would be very surprised to know that by using the very basic things like of Oracle VirtualBox virtual machine, which is merely a free software available for you to download on Mac OS or Windows, etc. And in that virtual box, you can simply install a free operating system, Ubuntu, long time support system, maybe newer version might have come. Then on that, what you need to install is QGIS 2.8 Wien version, and this is the one which we had used on during that period. And on that database system, you have to typically use a Postgres SQL or PostGIS database server for storing the spatial data. I am typically talking typically in technical terms, so that the people are especially students from IIT BHU, if they are attending or from technical background, they can immediately install it in next 30 minutes. Okay, it's very simple. Then on that database, what you need is to install one web server using Tomcat 7 or the latest version. Then on that you have to install Geo server and Geo Explorer. Geo server will present the data. Geo Explorer will help you explore the things, right? Now what you do, geospatial data means you are going to show and represent where various facilities are located. For example, we created ATMs and extracted the GPS locations of various ATMs, banks, health centers, hospitals, various buildings, playgrounds, the gardens, gymnasium, petrol pumps, libraries. Almost we created a system which was more or less similar to your Google Maps, right? This is what Google Map has done. They have created a geo information system containing variety of layers and have added information at rigorous levels, right? So accordingly, we deployed this variety of layers, deployed the Geo Explorer, Geo servers, added data, created variety of layers. Then Geo Explorer was used, and then finally we published the map in HTML format. So this was the basic architecture of the design. You have the virtual machine. Virtual machine is an operating system which you can install in any of the desktop or laptop or any simple machine. It does not require a very high-end hardware. Okay, and then you install the recommended platforms, and then you can simply start with open layers. Okay, so these are the details of the platforms which we used, and with this now I can show you the illustration of how you can launch a virtual machine. So you can simply launch, install it, install the basic virtual machine, install the operating system. Into that you install create a spatial database using QGIS vein. This software is also available for free and open source. You can download it for free in your desktop or laptop separately. In that you just import the respective map from where you have to generate a data. Then on that map you simply pin a variety of facilities or features which you require to present, and then accordingly you can launch a geo server. Geo server will accept variety of layers, so you can add those layers into that, and beyond that your map is now composed. Variety of layers are now added. Then to general public, now you can show, and this is what Smart City Varanasi has also done. Now we have presented variety of information with all the layers, the way Dr. Shukla was saying, your petrol pumps, your gas filling stations, or your schools or university or various campuses. We in fact in our experiment went down to an extent where a lecture hall is presented. So if a student comes to a university, maybe he is a fresher and first year students, he can just have this app in his mobile system, and he can simply check where is the lecture hall 301. So it will immediately be shown through a map from his own current location to the location of the destination. A clear path can be shown. So GIS based campuses, use of GIS is very utilitarian, provided you can present information in a very good way. And this is where I sincerely appreciate the efforts of Government of India, especially Smart City Varanasi, who have now come up with all the open database, open data sets available on their website. Go there, extract the information the way I have imported into my own geo server, and then you can start presenting using this data for your own localities, societies, or your own communities. So the purpose of open database is to bring facilities and knowledge and technologies to the societal level. So this is the time for the new next generation or next revolution with GIS. In fact, the GIS should become a way of life. Suppose even if you are creating your own house, it would be good if you can map every functionality, electrical points or water pipelines or electrical pipelines, optical fiber cables inside your own small apartments using three-dimensional GIS system. What will happen in future when you would require to revamp or construct something new? This GIS map can immediately tell you from where, which water pipeline or electricity pipeline or any wire is going, right? So this is the reason why European countries like UK and France, or in Australia or Canada especially, they are primarily heavy users of open database data sets available within the city, within their own premises, and they have also linked it with their own personal properties, and therefore every millimeter and inch can be ascertained in three-dimensional geographic location. So this is the gist of today's webinar. So I think this is where I can close, and I will request the members, if some of you can show to the participants the portal where we are showcasing variety of database from Smart City Varanasi. So thank you very much from my end, and we can have many questions as well after this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajput sir. We will now very quickly summarize both the speakers in few words. Then I would like to take this opportunity to showcase what Varanasi Smart City has done in terms of the open data portal. And the time is very short, but I will only show you a glimpse, and the participants could take down the URL and explore it at their own convenience. Very quickly to summarize, Dr. Shukla, as in fact I told you, he is bombarded with a lot of rich information. He has presented a rich bouquet of spatial data and smart city and their use cases. I would like that participants who are interested should get in touch with him for a detailed information about any particular subject. Especially he has showcased the use of in the Lucknow railway and other developmental works in Lucknow. So people should benefit out of that. Dr. Rajput had given an excellent example of how he has implemented a GIS environment in his own campus, even with minute geo server details, and this would be of lot of interest to the student and other research faculties. And he has given us an excellent catchphrase today: GIS is a way of life. This is, I think, something all GIS professionals would love to hear. With this, I would quickly switch over to sharing a screen on how we have implemented open data, geospatial data in Varanasi Smart City. It is in the public domain. And are people able to see this? Anybody? KashiGeoHub.org, is it showing up on your screens? Anybody?
Yes, sir, we are able to see that.
Yeah. Right. So what we have done here, we have lot of information in this portal. This is how it starts. what you see here is some important salient features of the city like the population, land area, density, and watts. This is followed by air quality index, which is coming from our environmental sensors across the city, and certain other information, the challenges, events, what we do, and this is followed by an applications. Here you see this camera location dashboard. We have 748 camera locations in the city for the surveillance purposes. This is of course a classified information. This is available only to the administrators, like for example, we are logged in. And for a common user, this is not applicable for security and privacy reasons. But police personnel and other authorized personnel could log in and see this information. And the general information about the city, Kasi Darshan, air quality index, and you see the land use and land cover, COVID-19 applications, green cover, incident reporting, and also for the educational institutions, a lot of useful information. And there are crowdsourcing applications, some pollution mapping, solid waste management, traffic management, and different surveys can be launched from here. And we have a very rich information about the globally available open source applications like COVID-19 dashboard, Open SDC data hub, ArcGIS living atlas, water balance, and the possibilities are endless. We have selected some of the applications and posted here. We could create so many others. So Landsat Explorer, the satellite images, so that other imagery system, Sentinel Explorer. Then comes our own Varanasi specific data, boundaries, utilities, recreation, education, transportation, solid waste management, water bodies, land use, documents, and guards. Just let me click one of them and see. Anybody want information, geospatial information about that? So like for example, the moment I click, you have Mohalla boundaries, subzone of Jalkals, Jalnigams, ward tax zones, slum boundary, and ward boundary, municipal area zones. Like that, everywhere you have geospatial data in GIS formats. People could download and select and search and retrieve and use it for their own analysis, research, or publicity and developing applications. This is a rich source of information. And I just given an example. I would like all the people to please note down this ikasigeohub.org URL and explore at their own convenience the very rich data and the data sets available in our Geospatial open data portal. And you could have competitions and we could develop mobile applications. The possibilities are endless. You can go and create your own map for your own purpose. You can browse the map gallery. A lot of rich information is there, and a lot of learning sources for a new GIS user, students, GIS professional, data scientist. And we have as a case study given a Kasi Vishwanath Dham project, how it was in 2018, how it is appearing in 2020. Of course, we are now very soon as the images are available, we will update for 2021 and 2022. So if you could see a particular data and see how it was there earlier, how it is now there. So we will be able to do. This is a very rich source of information. Like this, you have excellent pieces of information, which I will urge all the people to please kindly go and explore. So with this, because this is a glimpses of what we have done, and you can have frequently asked questions, and this is an effort jointly by ESRI India, Varanasi Smart City, and our Master System Integrated Sapurji College. I'll stop the screen now, and I will throw the forum open for any participant to ask any questions. Kindly say pointed question, whether it is to a particular speaker or in general. So now the floor is open to all to ask the questions. Any participant, any questions, please. Please identify yourself and put up the question. Am I audible? Is anybody having a question? Or I find 47 participants still there, even past 12 o'clock. But anybody has any question? The faculty will be pleased. Yeah, please. Mr. Suman, yeah.
Yes, sir. This is Suman Roy from Varanasi Smart City. This question is to Dr. Shukla.
Yes, please.
My question is that you have given, I think, point clouds and all the other examples. But now there is, while taking road as an asset, there is something like roughness index.
Yeah.
That is the pavement index of the road.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is it possible to measure it through the technologies you had said, like LIDAR or?
Yeah, definitely. It's a mobile lidar with the high accuracy instruments with the grid mapping. With the survey mapping would be giving you very fine details.
Okay, that means you can measure the roughness of the road, isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Any other question from any other participant, please? That is a very famous saying. If there are no questions, there are two possibilities. One, everything is amply clear. Other one is nothing, everything has gone above that place. So I don't know which category. Maybe there are too many data seminars happening simultaneously around the country today, because most of the smart cities are mandated to do it. I think I have seen a lot of people were logging in and out, they're switching between different webinars and trying to find what's interesting. That is the reality. So, and I think that is in a way good, and in a way it's a constraint, because we had opposed more than 60 participants at one point of time. But I could see a lot of people were logging in and out. So possible reason could be a parallel webinar happening around the country by different smart cities.
In fact,
So
in
I
the
presume there are I have. There is one person.
yes,
Rishikesh Singh.
let's take it, huh?
Yeah, why geospatial data is important? So any of you could answer this question, sir. Why geospatial data is important from Rishikesh Singh?
Should I answer?
Yeah, good. Dr. Sudhakar, you can go ahead.
See, geospatial data is required, rather it's a must too. Because whatever information we are collecting and we are putting in our dashboards is maybe through ancillary sources. If at all that information is the authenticity of that data could not be defined. But geospatial data, what you have collected through the satellite sensors or through other devices, what I have told, that would have 100% accuracy. And moreover, more the accurate data, more accurate will be your result, and more accurate will be your action plan. So that's why the importance of geospatial data is very high.
Dr. Rajput, would you like to supplement with some more information? It's fine.
For me, I am not super expert in remote sensing, but of course I can say that geospatial, by literal meaning of spatial, is three-dimensional information, right? So you cannot even drive a vehicle if you don't have a Google map in front of you while you are navigating in a new city, right? If you are navigating in a new campus or any new tourist place. So geospatial data is a data which will give you availability of information in various locations in three-dimensional space. So you can very conveniently locate, and since this is a data, through mathematical modeling internally, it can even identify which is the fastest route or closest shortest path, and many other algorithms can be applied. So geospatial data is important for the sake of mathematical manipulation and scientific exploration of the available information. So any information may be useful, but if it can be processed, or if it is in a format which can be processed further, will help you getting your own informations. That is why geospatial information is very important if you really want to process that data and derive information out of it.
Definitely.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Shukla and Dr. Rajput, for elucidating such a nice reply. And we will take one last question. Okay, Rishikesh is saying thanks, but so he's satisfied with the reply. So any other questions, please? One last question if we can take before we conclude this webinar.
Hello, Vasudevan.
Yes.
This is Narendra Thapar from ESRI.
Yeah, Narendra. Yes, please.
So morning to everyone. My heartiest congratulations to you for organizing this great event, and I think very enlightening talks by Dr. Shukla and Dr. Rajput. We really appreciate the excellent work done by you, sir. I think it was very informative. Both the talks which were there from Dr. Shukla as well as Dr. Rajput. Amazing work, and congratulations to you, Dr. Vasudevan, again for creating this Kashi Geo Hub, I think, which is the first of its kind in the country, which you created, and I certainly see a lot of interest by other cities as well as the ministry, in the good work which is going on at Varanasi. I'm sure it will get replicated elsewhere as well. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Narendra. Narendra Thapar is a country manager and vice president of ESRI India. He's a front runner and the torch bearer for the GIS software in the country. There is one more question from Ranveer Singh, IIT PHU civil engineering student. He says his mic is not working. I'm reading out the question. Is there any work which has been initiated in making a digital twin of Varanasi city? A digital twin of Varanasi city. Dr. Rajput, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, in fact, I would like to tell you that digital cities, technically speaking, digital twins are things which can be controlled in a similar fashion, in which one primary member has been operated. For example, there is a mother and a child. So child can become a digital twin of the mother, right? So Smart City Varanasi is actually working on creating digital twins for its implementation for administrative and additional performance optimization mechanisms. For example, if in one pond we are optimizing its clarity and sanitation and its cleanliness, the same digital data is being used to create another digital twin so that another pond can be controlled in a similar fashion. Right. So, in fact, not only in Smart City Varanasi, in fact, almost every city, it is the Government of India mandate to bring technologies up to creating digital twins so that most of the things are automated and one successful experiment can be conveniently implemented in other experiment. So yes, we are into that. And if you are keen into working on that project, do let us know, and we will be happy to have additional manpower and freelancers like you. Dr. Sudhakar, you may add if you want. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. Whatever you have said, it is 100% correct. And moreover, this is the way by using such type of twinnings, we can create models and we can replicate for the similar type of terrain conditions or similar type of situations which are prevailing in other area also, we can implement. So this is going to be a very good exercise, and we must create such type of data in a larger way so that we can replicate these things. Because what we are talking here in the case of Varanasi, this is an alluvial terrain. and the situations in alluvial terrains are entirely different than the other conditions, other terrains of the country. So we have to create lot many models in alluvial areas for replicating this information to the other similar type of terrains. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I would like to just supplement what both the speakers have said. These days, there is advancement of artificial intelligence technology. People are already started creating virtual reality things for everything. So, a virtual reality, what is called a metaverse, could be created for not only from rooms and some infrastructure. It could be created. Probably, it could one day expand to an entire city. Probably what this Ranbir Kumar is asking probably would become improved for young people to experiment with a digital city in the metaverse. So we have one more question from Rahul Sharma. He has asked, how can we use GIS in making traffic analysis zone models in transport planning? So Dr. Sudhakar, would you like to answer that, sir?
Perhaps I think GIS is the only mean by which you can give the real answer to this particular problem, because this transportation issues, whether it's be in terms of length, in terms of its widening, in terms of further say development, say as I told, there in the potholes or these things which are coming in the transportation system. So these all layers can be accumulated together in GIS environment, and a result can be given. The biggest say benefit of the GIS is you can retrieve the information, you can derive the things, or rather you can create a query as per your requirement. So no other mean is providing you this type of solution. So GIS is say important thing for giving the solution to transport management system.
Thank you very much, sir. There is one more question coming up on the screen. Dr. Supla had mentioned blockchain in his presentation as an emerging technology for GIS.
Yeah.
What is possible with the blockchain in GIS? Would you like to answer that, sir?
Because through blockchain, I think just the connectivity of the people and in terms of say propagating the things would be easier in terms of business analytics terms. Because I have not been in much in detail in these things, so I think in a much deliberative mode I cannot answer this. Sir, would you like to please?
I would like to add that I have recently written a book on blockchain applications for smart cities, and it was published by Nature. So it is a prestigious book, international publication.
Right. Sir.
So I would like to add that blockchain is basically a security mechanism.
Yes.
So that if a data is generated at one point, may be securely added to somewhere else, right? So suppose there was one very interesting experiment a person had done. What he did, he collected some 1000 mobile handsets and placed in one small bag, right? All the mobiles were on and they were sending their GPS data to Google Map. Now what he did, in a very empty lane, he simply walked very slowly. Google Map understood that there are 1000 independent users, probably cars, etc., who are moving at a very slow speed. That means there is heavy traffic jam. So it automatically all of a sudden started showing that there is acute traffic jam in this road. Whereas people who were really plying through that road, they started saying, we wonder why Google Map is showing traffic jam, whereas we are not seeing any traffic at all, right? So such misuse and wrong transmission of information will be controlled by blockchain kind of technologies, which will ensure that all the data which is being transmitted, for example, all of a sudden you are seeing a fire alarm in an apartment and probably there was no fire, rather a hacker had started uploading a high temperature, high smoke data, right? But every time it cannot be avoided, because in this meantime all the firefighter machines, administration and everyone will start running to that apartment, and when you will reach there, you will find that there was no event, right? So how to ensure the authenticity of the data being received at the remote server will be ensured by blockchain technology. So in GIS systems, things are real time. The data which you are sending is has to be authentic. That is why if you will interface the data transmission through blockchain packets, the information will be true, and because in times to come, everything is going to be intelligent, automated, and human interference will be less. So we have to ensure that everything is flawless and true and authentic, dependable, because there won't be any human to stop it. So this is a very
Thank
very
you very much,
important
Dr.
field. Yeah.
Rajput, for a wonderful reply and such a good example. So we could make an impact on the, I think the questioner is more than satisfied with the wonderful example you have given. And I think it is past 12:15, so it's a time to, conclude this nice webinar. I feel like, we could continue for hours. So there is one more question. I think we will take this last question from Rasike. So we will just take it that close, because what applications can benefit by using geospatial analytics? So Dr. Supla, if you could start answering this. What applications can benefit by using geospatial analytics?
Not many applications of these technologies are there, whether it's be in terms of management and assessment of the natural resources. This technology can be used. This technology can be used for development of infrastructures. This technology can be used for utility services. Even not many emerging technologies, as sir has already quoted, Dr. Rajput, these technologies can also be embedded with GIS, so better solutions can be provided. So right from natural resources to infrastructure facilities to utilities to other health or whatever sector you feel, GIS can be done. And even now in the banking sector, this GIS technology is very much important nowadays.
In fact, I would like to add that you name any field, and we as the expert would be able to add geo-analytics into that. It is as much important as you can think of. So you even just think about even healthcare, transportation, energy sector, any and every sector. Everywhere it is important, and that is why Vasudevan sir came up with this idea of bringing up open data webinar, because every one of us can understand that this is so important to educate people about GIS, availability of data, authenticity of the data, and possibilities of applications. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it is time to conclude this webinar. I once again thank Dr. Sudhakar Shuklaji and Dr. N.S. Rajput sir for sparing your valuable time and speaking to the wonderful audience. And I'm very glad they took time to take questions. And a lot of students I could see have been participating, apart from people from the industry and other smart cities and all. I thank once again all the participants, and stay safe in this COVID environment. Use the technology wherever you can. Use the data, use the open data, and stand to benefit. One last comment from Dr. Rajput.
Yeah, at the end, I just wanted to tell to all the participants that this is not the end of the webinar, right? Rather, it is the start of our interaction. So if at any point of our interaction, if you found it useful, please try to connect back with us. We will be happy to involve you in our real-time projects and activities. We want that the technology should reach up to the societal level. So please volunteer. Feel free to contact us at any point of time in any media. We will be happy to help you.
Dr. Supla also want to make some.
Thanks for the permission. Just in addition to Dr. Rajput, I would like to say here at Remote Sensing Application Center, Lucknow, Apart from regular scientific activities, we are imparting a MTech program in the field of remote sensing and GIS. So those students who are graduated in the field of civil engineering, those can be eligible for having this MTech in remote sensing and GIS. Your doors are open. You can contact me anytime, and any sort of suggestion is required. We are always ready to help you. Thank you very much, Vasudevan sir.
Thank you very much. The offer by Dr. Rajput and Dr. Sudhakar.
Yeah.
It's time to say goodbye. And
Yeah.
thank you very much. And
Thank you, sir.
goodbye.
Thank you, Vasudevan ji.
Thank-
Thank you, Sudhakar ji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, the whole team. Thank you very much.